Hey everybody, it's Andrew Esquivel here back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Sleep Number bed. Now, I don't really have a specific model in mind to tell you about because I don't really know what specific model I had. But let me just tell you guys my experiences with the bed. Now, what inspired me to make this specific review is I saw a commercial for the Sleep Number bed that I've seen probably a bazillion times, right? And let me just straight up say, all those people praising the Sleep Number bed and saying that it's amazing, let me just say that is some fantastically grade A bullshit. So, excuse my language, but let me just straight up tell you so you don't have to watch much of anything to understand that the Sleep Number bed is awful. It is terrible. Probably one of the worst things I've ever slept on in my life. I actually prefer the floor over the Sleep Number bed. And here's why. Okay. The Sleep Number bed is basically made up of air bladders, right? So I had a queen size Sleep Number bed for couples. So each person could adjust their side of the bed. Now, in concept, this sounds great because, you can adjust the amount of air pressure in the air bladders inside the bed so that you can get it just right. Well, let me tell you, it doesn't work at all. Because this is why. Okay. So the inside of the mattress is an air bladder on this side and an air bladder on this side. And in the middle is a piece of foam. Right? So what's keeping the air bladders on their side or whatever, right? Nothing. So what happens, and this happens to a lot of people, not just me, is in the middle, in between the air bladders, is empty space. Well, the air bladders don't fill up like a cube or a rectangle. They fill up and leave a curve on the top, right? So one of two things is going to happen. You're not going to stay in the middle of that air bladder because the air bladder is not very big in terms of width. It's just barely enough to fit the average size person. So either you're going to fall over to the left or the right. And most of the time what ends up happening is you fall towards whatever side is the middle of the bed because you got this curved air bladder that's going to make you roll to the side, and then you've got nothing in the middle. And then on the bottom of the bed is basically hard plastic, right? It's just as hard as the floor is, probably. So what happens is you end up rolling into the middle of the bed and laying on the plastic all night because staying on top of that little air bladder, that poor excuse for comfort, is nearly freaking impossible. If you're a person who tosses and turns, it's not gonna work because you will end up rolling into the middle. And if you're with someone else, they're gonna end up rolling on top of you, or you're gonna end up rolling on top of them. So it's a lose-lose situation here, people. And if it's just you sleeping in the bed, well, it's not gonna be any different, right? You're gonna roll into the middle on top of that hard plastic because there's nothing in the middle. And you can try to modify the bed like I did to try and make it so that the two air bladders are so close to each other that there really is no middle. And that works for a day. But after one night of sleep, the air bladders will separate again, and there will be a void in the middle, which you will then again roll into the next day. So what I did is I just tried getting a few sleeping bags or something soft to put in the middle so that there would be a barrier so I wouldn't be laying in the plastic if I rolled in the middle. It doesn't help much. There's only so much you can do and it doesn't do anything. Right? So you got that problem. And then there's the other problem where sometimes you lose air pressure in the air bladders, so they fluctuate back and forth whether you like it or not. Because it's not a perfect tight seal where it's airtight all the time. Some of the air is going to get out eventually. So you constantly have to readjust the air bladder over and over again and get it just right again and again and again. And let's keep in mind that the little device that controls all this It's kind of loud, so it's annoying to, you may wake up at night if your partner decides, I'm going to change the button. So it's a little loud, and it's never really accurate, okay? So you may say your number is, let's say, 45, right? It could be 45 one day, but after you lose air pressure, the device kind of messes up, and it doesn't really know what 45 is anymore. So you switch it, and let's say, okay, well, now that I've adjusted just right, look, turns out I'm at 55 now. Wonderful. So it messes up, right? And you've got that problem. And let's see, what else? What are the problems that I have? Oh yeah, if you try to adjust it while laying on the bed, the number that you get that you like is going to be different than if you try to adjust it if you're not laying on the bed. Because if there's no air pressure while you're adjusting it, it messes up again. So, and what's even worse than that is the actual remote control thing broke on me. So the LCD display that tells you the number that you're currently on just kind of died, and only half the screen was working, so you couldn't tell what the hell number you were on anyway. So basically it's like, let's play a guessing game. What number is this? No, that doesn't feel right. Well, that doesn't feel right either. That'll work. So basically you're playing with it for like 5-10 minutes because the thing is freaking slow. It doesn't fill and deflate very quickly. And the LCD thing broke, and I don't even know why it broke, And since you have to constantly readjust because the thing doesn't work right to begin with, if the battery dies or the remote dies for whatever reason, congratulations, you no longer can use your bed. Because eventually it's just going to deflate to the point where all you feel is the plastic underneath the air bladder. So, all in all, knowing all that, the Sleep Number bed is terrible. It is the worst idea. I mean, the concept is a good concept, but the execution needs some work. Because I ended up waking up with back pain, neck pain, groggy in the morning. I sleep in because I don't get a good night's sleep. You're constantly readjusting yourself to just try and stay where the air bladder is instead of falling in the middle. Your partner wakes you up in the middle of the night because they're adjusting their bed or something. It is just awful. It is just terrible, right? So I beg of you, if you are considering the Sleep Number bed, do not, I repeat, do not get it, okay? And before you say anything, you can say, oh, well, I went to the Sleep Number store and tried some of them out, and they felt great. I didn't have that problem. Well, guess what? It's because they are constantly readjusting the air bladders so that you don't notice the problem. The problem happens after a few days of using the air mattress. So at first, it seems perfect, right? It seems great, because you don't notice anything at first. But once those air bladders and all these other malfunctions that I just talked about start to happen, you start to slowly realize that, holy crap, this is awful. And by that time, your so-called free trial is up. You're stuck with it. Congratulations. Waste of money. I ended up buying a regular mattress, and it felt 20,000 freaking by the power of 80 billion times better than the Sleep Number mattress. Now, yeah, I don't know what that number is, but it's just an example, okay? So, long story short, the commercials are very, very misleading, alright? Don't buy into this stupid bed, because there are so many things wrong with it, and I'm sure some people have even had worse experiences than I have. So, for the love of God, do not even consider a Sleep Number bed, okay? Whatever you do, do not consider a Sleep Number bed, okay? I would rather you actually go mattress shopping and get a good mattress. You know, for people who are couples, you do realize they say that, oh, you can adjust it so you can find the right one for each of you. They do make mattresses with different levels of firmness on each side. So you can pick the one you like that works for both of you. Just do that instead. Please do not get tricked into this bullcrap. Now, I know my language is a little more not that family friendly, but for the love of God, I guess I'm kind of just venting as I do this review, because I want you guys to see my frustration with this. I dealt with that bed for a number of years. Why I let it drag on that long, I don't know. Probably because I didn't have money to buy a good mattress. So, I've dealt with this for over a few years, right? So I know what I'm talking about. I've had plenty of experience with this bed. So it's not like I'm someone who just started using it, alright? So, if someone's watching this that works at Sleep Number, you know what? Take a hint and fix your crap. Because I hope that people stop buying your junk. Maybe it was just, no, you know what? It's not even just the model I had, okay? I've talked to other people with Sleep Numbers, and they all agree. They all say it's the worst thing ever. And anyone who gives it a positive review probably hasn't actually used one long enough to notice these problems. Or maybe they were the lucky ones, right? But not everyone is lucky, and you shouldn't try it and find out. Because you don't want to be the one stuck with the bad luck, alright? So anyway, you've been watching this for almost 12 minutes now, right? So I think you should get the point. And I know I didn't actually show you the bed, but that's because I no longer own it. Guess what? It's in the garbage! Yeah! That's right, Sleep Number. Thanks for screwing me out of a bunch of money and ruining my back for a number of years, you damn son of a bitch. So anyway, salutations, my friends. Thanks for watching, and, heed my warning. Honestly. And I'm sure there's other people who can testify to how bad it is. Anyway, have a good one, and get some good sleep.